Have a great game, guys. Okay, let's start. And we're welcoming the first speaker from the proposition team.
So, good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen, our honorable judges, our dear opponents, and timekeeper. I'm the first speaker of proposition team. My name is Jessica, and our team's name is Red Hot Chili Peppers. My teammates are Michael, who's the second speaker, and Nitika, she's the third speaker for our team. Michael is going to make a reply speech first. So the motion of our today's game is this House would end the persecution of Julian Assange, and we totally agree with this motion. This motion is really important actually nowadays because it is crucial to ensure that journalists and whistleblowers are not silenced or punished for their efforts to expose wrongdoings and promote transparency in society. The value of this motion lies in fundamental principles of justice, freedom of speech, and protection of human rights. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, has been subjected to persecution and legal battles for his role in publishing classified information that exposed government corruption and human rights abuses. So to prove our motion, we'd like to present your definitions about Julian Assange. Julian Assange is an Australian journalist and founder of WikiLeaks, known for releasing classified information. He gained fame in 2010 for leaking the collateral murder video. Assange sought asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in London in 2012 to avoid extradition to Sweden. He was arrested in 2009 and faces charges in US related to espionage and conspiracy. His case has sparked debates on press freedom and government transparency. Persecution is punishment or harassment, usually of a severe nature on the basis of race, religion, or political opinion in one's country or of origin, planned persecution, and so on. So I would like to present our case. Our first argument sounds like protection of freedom, press freedom. The second argument sounds like public interest and transparency. I'll explain our first argument, and the second argument is going to be presented by our second speaker. So the first one. Ending the persecution of Julian Assange is crucial for upholding press freedom. Assange, as the founder of WikiLeaks, has played a significant role in exposing government corruption and holding those in power accountable. By prosecuting Assange, governments set a dangerous precedent that threatens investigative journalism and the public's rights to know. Protecting Assange would send a message that journalists and whistleblowers will not be silenced for speaking truth to power. Press freedom is a cornerstone of democracy and a vital safeguard against government overreach and abuse of power. If governments are allowed to target and persecute journalists like Julian Assange for simply doing their job and exposing the truth to society, it sets a dangerous precedent that can have chilling effects on investigative journalism. Without a free press that can operate without fear of persecution, government corruption and abuse of power can go unchecked, ultimately ending their freedoms and the rights of all. So Julian Assange's extradition and legal battles have raised concerns about violations of his human rights and the right to fair trial. Assange has faced harsh treatment, including prolonged isolation and limited access to legal resources. Ending the persecution of Julian Assange would ensure that he receives a fair trial and not subjected to inhuman conditions. Upholding human rights principles is essential for a just legal system and demonstrates a commitment to protecting the rights of all individuals regardless of their circumstances. Julian Assange's case has significant implications for freedom of speech and expression. By protecting Assange from persecution, governments can safeguard the fundamental right to free speech and prevent chilling effects on investigative journalism. Allowing Assange to continue his work without fear of reprisal sets a precedent for defending freedom of expression and promoting a diverse media landscape where dissenting voices can be heard. Upholding freedom of speech is essential for a democratic society where ideas can be freely exchanged with others in debate. Furthermore, protecting Assange is not just about ensuring the freedom of the press, but also about upholding the public's right to know about the corruption of government. Whistleblowers like Assange play a crucial role in holding governments and powerful institutions accountable by shining the light on information that would otherwise remain hidden from the public. By silencing or punishing whistleblowers and journalists, governments are essentially depriving the public of the information they need to make informed decisions and participate in a functioning democracy. So, 6 minutes, yeah? Oh my God. Okay. So, as a conclusion, I would like to say that protecting Julian Assange is essential for safeguarding press freedom, promoting transparency and accountability in government, and upholding the fundamental principles of democracy. Governments must recognize the crucial role that journalists and whistleblowers play in a free society and refrain from targeting them for simply doing their job. So the freedom of press must be defended at all costs in order to preserve the integrity of our democratic institution and protect the rights of the public. So I guess that's all.
Now let's welcome the first speaker from the team opposition. Whenever you're ready. Внизу должна быть кнопка включения.
Слышно? Сейчас? Нет.
Громче скажи.
Слышно? Не слышно.
Слышно.
Нормально.
Скажите, как слышно сейчас или нет?
Чуть ближе.
Нет, не слышно.
Я понял, спасибо. So, have 8 minutes, right?
Right.
8 minutes.
Right. So 1, 2, 3. Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, our dear opponents, timekeeper. I'm the first speaker of opposition team. My name is Alan, and I want to start with the refutation. Our opponents tell us about the protection of freedom that normal people, common people should know about the trust, and we should know about corruption in some countries, and that's what the main point of their argument. And today I want to tell you why that not only not in any case that really trust can lead to good conditions, and the trust in not every case trust can be helpful to and useful to normal people. So about second point, that our opponents tell us about sharing trust to others that the journalists can do. So but you as journalists, you can do it in every single moment that you have. today we have the rights of another country, the rights of another people, and we can tell information that we have only in that point that it's not violating the rights of another country and another people. We have today rights of confidential information, and we have no opportunity to announce that information if we want. So how journalists can do it, we don't understand. And about corruption, that everyone can know about corruption. It's point of another country. It's business of another country, and we have the national law that says that government can solve it by themselves, by them force, and no one can give to themselves that opportunity to solve that problem and to tell that information to people. Also about our position. Our value itself is to society, its safety to institute of law and authority of government. And in my speech, I will tell you about how ending the persecution of Julian Assange violating the institute of law. Why is it bad? We will compare the moment that we have today and what will be, and I'll give you examples why it will not give benefits for society and for government at the same time. So let's start with the beginning. As you know, the Julian Assange violated the law. He hacked the Pentagon. He grabbed some information that country has. Firstly, he can't do it because he just journalist. As we said, every country has right and have right to solve this problem by themselves. If I, as actor, as a country, I make some mistakes, and as I make some mistakes, I wanna hide it or I wanna to publish that information. It's my opportunity, and no one had that opportunity, So Julian Assange had no rights. Firstly, to showed us that information. Secondly, Julian Assange. If we stop to provide persecution of Julian Assange, we violating the law. So another guys that see that Julian Assange violated the law and have no punish from others from our side, they understand that it's normal, it's okay to hack some secret information to распространять. To share that information and hiding after that point of the I'll show you a trust, and it's nothing wrong with that I showed that I violated the law in that point. So it's and about that point that it won't give it won't lead to good consequences, firstly to people, and secondly to society. Firstly, today it's past 10 years after that Julian Assange became persecuting, and what today we have? The society have no position about that guy. So that just like smoke without a fire, because because society as actor, we can divide it on rich people and poor people. No one of that group can solve that problem. They just can think, oh yeah, that's a good guy that give us trust, and what's on. We can, if society can solve that problem, and they can solve, and no one can struggle with that. We can. That information brings only chaos and only беспорядки to the society. And for what Julian Assange gave up that information. And today we see that the picture of war won't changes. Yes, US makes some humanity action that their army killing peaceful people. Yeah, we have that information. But how world changed? People that killing another guys today not in prison. They are walking around the streets and they have the right that they have another people, and they didn't be punished by government, by the society, and in some ways they just be pollution in their works, in their jobs. So if we can change the situation, why we give that information to the society? There is no point to do it. And Julian Assange posted that information also in only to the society, because he didn't give us any information, any position about that moment, about that action, but he gave us information to make some conclusions about it, and we can solve the problem. So what we have in the conclusion, we have that panic somehow, and we will forgot about and we just forgot about Julian Assange after some time. Also about confidential information that Julian Assange give us trust information, and because of that we shouldn't persecute him. But we also can give trust information from the another sphere, that like we can give the information about the rocks that will be used to kill some people, and it will be trust, but it's the secret of that government, and there we can use that information without their permission. So we think that the more important point for us is authority of the government, and if we want stop persecution, we can say that, because Julian Assange was the example how he violated the law and still will punish. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your speech. And now let's welcome the second speaker from the team proposition.
Hello?
The time will start from your first words.
Mic working. Three, two, one. Hello, my name is Mike. I'm the second speaker of the proposition team. And first of all, I would like to refute our opponent's first argument. So the first argument had several points. The first one being that Julian had no right to bypass the law. He had no right to bypass the law, seriously. Then explain to me why the US at several times during history and is still still bypassing the law. Yeah, what he has revealed by, like you said, bypassing the law is much worse. Yeah, compared to the sort of what you said crime he committed. The US committed several war crimes. Yeah, one of the most popular videos being that he leaked is just several guys chilling, having a beer, and then an Apache helicopter rolls up and shoots them down. Then you're saying that this had no impact, nothing changed, the US is still committing crimes. Basically, we just should sit in our bum, and just give up. Well, of course, if we're not fighting for justice, for freedom, for democracy, which I will remember was invented 250 years ago by the US itself. Well, obviously, they don't really keep up with democracy nowadays. Then, of course, we won't get anywhere. And the world will change if Julian is not prosecuted, because by him not being prosecuted, we show to other whistleblowers, to other journalists. Also, you said he's just a journalist. He's been hacking. He's a programmist since 17 years old. So he knows a lot more. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's leaking information that is true and that does have a huge impact on the world and is changing it. And like I was saying, if you don't prosecute him later, if you don't prosecute him, and the prosecution, sorry, we will be giving the incentive, we'll be showing other whistleblowers and other journalists, basically anyone who can leak information of government's wrongdoings, yeah, we'll be giving them the green light to bring wrongdoings up to the surface. Thereby, we are bringing back justice, we're bringing back democracy to our world that has sadly become corrupt. Right, now I would like to move on to the rebuttal of our first argument. So, first of all, he said that trust cannot lead to good conditions. How can trust not lead to good conditions? Trust is one of the main factors, one of the basic factors of good condition. Because if you don't have trust, yeah, then you have other several negative emotions or other negative factors, yeah, that thereby lead to actually bad conditions, a lot worse. And he also said that Julian is violating the rights of another country. Violating the rights of another country? Seriously. He brought to the surface crimes, multiple crimes, thousands of crimes that has been performed by the US and other countries, violating other countries, tons of them. And he violated in the name of the people, in the name of justice, in the name of democracy, yeah, to bring this justice, yeah. And just the scales of balance, you gotta remember, yeah, what he did is just outweighs the single wrongdoing. And he's truly just a national hero because no one stepped up. Yeah, he's the only one who stepped up to bring up the wrongdoings to light. Yeah, and without that, we would just basically forgot about it. We wouldn't have known about those war crimes committed. And if crimes are not exposed, it creates a incentive for powerful governments to keep creating those war crimes. Yeah, and if there's no justice brought, yeah, they will just keep doing what they've been doing for centuries. Right. Now I'd like to present our second argument. The name of the argument is is public interest and transparency. So, like I said previously in my refute and rebuttal, by locking up, by continuing the repercussion of Julian, you are given an incentive. You're showing that to other whistleblowers, journalists, whatever. Yeah, people who, like I said, who can share this not classified wrongdoings of governments. Yeah, you're showing that if you do share those wrongdoings, you're risking of basically just losing your life. You have been thrown in a cage for the rest of your life just by, like you already said previously multiple times, by bringing justice and democracy to our world. Yeah, and actually, there has been all basically court cases, including the ones around Julian Assange. There has been a large lack of evidence, yeah, provided by his prosecutors. For example, when they were prosecuting him about the there was two court cases, the main ones, including the US and Assange. The first one being in the US itself, and then when he moved to London into the Portuguese, into the Ecuadorian embassy. So in both court cases, the US has been asked in court to bring evidence of him supposedly putting other people's lives in danger, of him. They blamed him of sexual misconduct. They blamed him. Actually, there's no evidence. There's a real lack of evidence of him even showing this wrongdoing, sharing that leaked information. Yeah. So there's a huge lack of information surrounding this case, and that is why Julian Assange should not be persecuted. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, now let's welcome the second speaker from the team opposition.
Слышно меня?
Да, наверное.
Give me a second, please. So, hello everyone. In this, wait, I need to timer. So, hello everyone. I'm the second speaker of the opposition side. I want to start my speech with our values and our actors. Our values is safety of institution of law, safety of society, and authority of government. So, and our actors, Julian Assange, society, and rights of government, and the state. So, and now I want to start with the refutation of our opponents. The second argument was about like, oh, it's lack of evidence, and I have one evidence. A law in 1917 in USA about espionage, that if you expose and share information top secret, you will be in the jail. Like, okay, he has violated the law of the USA. Where is the lack of evidence? So, and now I want to compare some values. The values of our opponents is about the people's rights, and our is the main value about it, and our main value is about the institution of law. So, and okay, I understand the value of our opponents, but we have the one point about our values. Okay, imagine if the value of law will decrease. What can be? And as our argument was saying, we have the potential loss of stability. How we can get it? Just imagine, guy, Julian Assange, hacked government, hacked USA, hacked государственный аппарат.
Point.
Government.
Point.
No, thank you. And after that, some guy that can see, oh, he has done it for the safety of people's rights. He is doing it for the good and for the best future. And we have one moment that he can go and do something
exposed to do for the future better. And we have one example. Imagine that some group of people with the violation of rights, they were experimenting by the people, and they were in one stage to have the healing from the cancer. It's really cool. It's some just people for the healing of the cancer. How many people we can save? And what do you think? It is the natives. 1945, the experiments of the people just to get better future, just to get better and to save people's rights. Like, you know, if we will decrease institute of law, and if we will accept them to violate some rights, violate the law, they will violate rights more, because some people right now can see the character Julian Assange. They can see that he has not punished for his violation of the law, and I can do something that, as I think, will help to save people's rights to this value. And as a consequences, we will have that if Julian Assange will be ended, by the Julian Assange persecution will be ended, we will violate people's rights more. And I think it's not better for that. So, and they were talking about the freedom of journalism. I want to remind you that the feature of the politician journalism about their work, that they every time have risk. They violate law to get some information, and after that to take money or to share this information. And he violated the law, and he is in jail. What is bad? I don't understand. Why is it not? What do you think that he has no freedom? He's still doing his job. And the one point that I want to compare about the risks, about the consequences that can maybe. Now we have the state, the one moment about that no one that violated the people's rights in USA hasn't been punished, won't punished for now. And it's bad, we understand, but do you think that if we will end the persecution of Julian Assange, we have in the potential risks to violate people's rights more? And we have one point. Do you remind the WikiLeaks? Now Julian Assange has one point. He doesn't like US government. Imagine he goes out from the jail and he can and he will do the political work, and all guys will trust him, because he just like he won the US government, and if he telling truth, and now he can just fabricate some more points to win their opponent, to win government that destroys his life, and he won't be now affected on the some, I don't know, their crimes. He will just fabricate some new, and he will do everything to make law this authority of the government. And we now will have the power in okay.
Right. So first of all, you were saying that he will get out of jail and he doesn't like the US government, so he can fabricate the information. Yeah, sure, that's a possibility, but we trust Julian a lot more, because before that he was the first one to actually bring the true information up.
Okay, thank you.
So I haven't finished yet. Finished yet.
My time, bro. Sit down, please. So in 2016, he told in the interview that he doesn't like US government, and he fully was shown disappointment in his in their work. He will work against them. Why do you think that he is a good man? He won't do it. He won't punish them because they destroyed his life. He has 10 years in this jail. So I don't understand whereabouts you're talking. And the second moment about nothing changed. We're fighting for the rights of democracy, but we're fighting for the right for democracy to violate the law and to violate the rights of all of us to have the law, to have our rights. And I don't understand how work of Julian Assange and how this works will help, how his sharing will help to save these people's rights. And but in the future, he, as I said, in consequences will have more bad consequences. What I can say else in people's rights? Okay, I have said about this. Nothing changed about comparison. Oh. The political things, present today, right? And one more point about the free, how I can tell, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. one point about the freedom of speech. They were talking like we're relating the freedom of speech. We're not we relate freedom of speech if he has his opinion and he's going through without violating the law. So and now this value of freedom of speech not so important as the value of law, because without the value of law, because imagine that in one hand the power in the hands of the Julian Assange, and he will do everything to create something about like bad consequences for the US. And now we won't have this freedom of speech, because if you talk for the government for something to support US government, you're supporting some, you know, you support killers, you support something. So in the society will prove the emotion like and in consequences will violate this freedom of speech more, because the power in Julian Assange in one man that doesn't like US government at all, and now all the things will be punished to him. And do you think that it's violating freedom of speech the same? And I think like more than now. And so that's why I think, and more points before, we shouldn't end the persecution of the Julian Assange, and he should be in the jail. That's all I want to say. Thank you
Okay. Now, let's welcome the third speaker from the team Proposition.
Hello, my name is Etienne. I'm the third speaker of Hello, my name is Etienne. I'm the third speaker of the proposition team, and we continue our debates on the motion this House would end the persecution of Julian Assange. So first, I would like to start my speech with the refutation of our opponent's arguments. So, their first argument was about, it was about basically the persecution of the persecution of Julian Assange being useless, and that it won't change anything in society, because everyone would still be silenced, and then the world wouldn't change, and everything would still keep happening. So, technically, yes, Julian Assange did violate the law, but he turned himself in, and he did notice the things that he did wrong, even though they weren't quite wrong. I will go on to explain later, because he's very much punished for this, and he is held accountable. But what about the people who actually commit the war crimes? The U.S. They committed a war crime. Yes.
But okay, he sits in jail. It is the the решение of the judgment about his if he's violated the law, so we shouldn't end the persecution. If he did it, he sits in the jail like there.
Yes, he is sitting in jail, but the actual people who committed a more worse war crime are walking freely, and no one is doing anything about it. So how is that fair? Because his trial was only supposed to be, I think, 10 years long, but it became too much. And people who did a lot of war crimes are still walking freely, and everyone is защищаем, basically. So if they resolve this conflict equally, so you want equality, right? So you should, you were saying that the world won't change if they end this persecution, because everyone will still be put out in jail. But the world will change exactly if Julian's persecution ends, as more people will not be scared to speak up. Of course the world won't change if they silence everyone. How brutal can you be to advocate for this when everyone wants equality and human rights to be advocated correctly and well?
So before your speech, you said like, okay, who will be? We agreed that U.S. government did wrong, but you just proved that he should sit in jail, and we should end the persecution.
He served his time already, but they keep basically putting him still in jail and basically being very unequal as that he served his sentence already, basically. He did. And he didn't commit that like giant of a crime as the US government did. And they didn't even get any type of punishment for it. So their second argument was that not really everyone is with Julian Assange. That basically he's all alone and that no one really cares about him and that the world won't change if they let him out because no one cares, apparently. But no, the whole world is with Julian Assange and they want him to be set free because then it creates new boundaries for journalists and world corruption and so on will be spoken on about and then the world will basically become better because a lot of people will basically not be afraid to speak up about war crimes and other things that are happening in the world because people are still doing this right now and nothing is working. But if they let out Julian Assange, it will give a ray of hope for people that they can still do something to make the world a better place. Okay, so now I would like to also make the rebuttal of our arguments. So our first argument was protection of press freedom. So first, I would like to tell you guys about you all about this term called casus belli, in which the aggressor is about to attack the victim, and they try to look innocent in the eyes of society, which is clearly working as they brainwash our opponents into thinking that they're the victims, but Julian Assange is a big villain and that no one cares about him and that he's serving his sentence. Ending the persecution of Julian Assange is crucial for upholding press freedom. As the founder of WikiLeaks, he has played a significant role in exposing government corruption and holding those in power accountable. I would also like to say that value of law will actually increase as you end his persecution, because our opponent said that it won't increase and nothing will happen. But it will actually increase as people will start to not close eyes on crimes that governments commit and they go unpunished. And actual bad guys will get punished for it, and innocent people will walk free, which is great. So they also said that there is some type of law against espionage, but US hackers hacked tons of thousands of tech basically to find out information just like every single other government. So
One question.
yes.
We're not talking about the закони of US and he'll violated these laws. That's about the hackers. It's another motion, another point, another закони, another governments.
We are talking about, as we said, we are advocating for equality, and we're saying that if they're doing this and the US is doing the same thing, and they're not getting anything about it, so why are you saying that someone should be punished for this when no one else is getting punished for it? So, 1 second. So, they also said that journalists basically just want fame and stuff like that, but journalists, they risk their lives for justice. And his persecution is illegal, and it infringes on the sovereignty and to all of Australia, which he is from, according to international standards. It is very much illegal. So now I would like to rebuttal a second argument, which is international reputation and diplomatic relations, public interest and transparency. So the continued persecution of Julian Assange has sparked international criticism and damaged the reputation of countries. If we end his persecution, more countries might, resolving the situation, would help repair diplomatic relations and demonstrate a commitment to upholding human rights. In which way other countries will look at it and also want to be in motion, I guess, with the country that freed him, and that way we will get more rights and more. Basically, we will advocate for human rights more because his. Ending his persecution will be a huge headline, and a lot of people will start to have hope for humanity and basically ending of many war crimes. So, Julian Assange's work with WikiLeaks has brought to light important information that is in the public interest, such as government corruption, human rights abuse, and corporate wrongdoing. Ending his persecution would promote transparency and accountability of the US government by allowing whistleblowers and journalists to continue exposing misconduct without fear of retaliation. Just hold accountability and let people speak up. That is all that we want from you. Protecting Assange would serve the public interest by ensuring that vital information remains accessible to the public and contributes to a more informed society. That is all I want to say. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your speech. And now let's welcome the third speaker from the team opposition.
Hello everyone, we continue our debate I'm gonna start with the refutation of our opponents. Our opponents said that in their second speech they asked a question how how it's happened that trust not in every ways can lead to the good condition, but our opponents don't really understand that today all we know about Julian Assange, all we know about that situation, but nothing's happened and nothing changed. Today we know that we're persecuting Julian Assange and society won't change. They still can change because it's not the main point for society that they think about. We can divide society. I'm trying to divide, and I'll continue. We can divide society on two groups: poor and with the middle, достаток people, and rich people. For one group, first group, it's not important. Yeah, it's interesting. Julian Assange give us that information, the trust, and. We can solve it. I have a lot of problems. I have to care about my children. I have to go to my work, and I have to bring some good for my family. I have no time for the Julian Assange who just give me some trust. And another, they just it's not important for them. Yes, Julian Assange give us trust, and what's on. So Julian Assange, yeah, he gave us the trust, but we want to struggle with it. We want to struggle with another government, another politics because of one guy. And what we have in the result today, people, because of Julian Assange, we have some meetings and we have some protests. Some people don't sure in the government, but they won't think about Julian Assange anymore. Don't sure in the government, don't sure in the future. From the other side, we don't know what Julian Assange will do if we will stop the persecution. Because as our team said, WikiLeaks the most defended platform that was когда-либо создано.
Was ever made.
That's ever made. No one available to hack that platform. It means that today Julian Assange hacked Pentagon and another platforms, and he has not information only about crimes. He has another information about some schemes, about some science schemes, and etc., about secrets of government. And after we stop that persecution, Julian Assange can leave the jail and can manipulate with the information. He also can use his personality to manipulating them, because WikiLeaks site was based on and provided only on his personality, because he's popular man in the society. Because of that, WikiLeaks is popular today. That's yeah. I want to continue with the refute, and our opponents tell us about that we won't change the society, that people that make crime walk freely in the streets, but we also think so. We think that it's unfair that people that did crime is walking freely at the streets, but that situation can be changed, can be solved, because today 10 years passed and that situation won't solve. Today people don't worry about it, they just forget about that information. There is no that information in breaking news for today. And today, if we see that nothing changed, we will stop the persecution. It will mean one thing, that government give up with that situation. Government says to another people that that man violated 17 points of our law, and it's normal. We just stop to persecuting him, and we lose that value of law. We lose the authority of government. That's our main value. So our opponents tell us about more rights for journalists, but they already have that rights. They can provide the information that they want. We have a lot of so today there is no problem with rights for journalists. We have moreover we have organizations that providing them rights and give them more rights. So it's not the problem of our game. Also. Also, our opponents tell us about hackers in the US that already hacked other country, and because of that we have no information about that hacking, because it's secret information. It's like war between government on the highest level, that we common people, we can't know about that information, and our opponents also didn't give us any example about this, that hackers, so we can't understand. We see that hackers. Also about consequences, about risk when we will start the persecuting, and Julian Assange will use it to manipulate with government. So it's we think that it can lead to more bad consequences also for society and also for the US. US destroyed the life of Julian Assange. Today he has a lot of diseases and he understands it. He says to us that he said that he disappointed in USA in their way of doing something, and Julian Assange understands that his life at the end, so he will use that opportunity, that opportunity is WikiLeaks, to provide that idea that US is the worst country, is the not the country that we should have. So he will also give us trust, but the trust will give us the unstable society. It will give 8 minutes. So in the end of my speech, I want to say that if we end that persecution, we have a lot of risks that's неоправданный, and we have the violated law in the if we will stop the persecution. Thank you for listening.
Now let's move on to the analysis speeches, and we're welcoming the reply speaker from the team opposition.
So hello everyone, thank you very much for this game. I'm the opposition reply speaker. I want to start with the first points. So the first point was about the comparison of values. The main value of our opponents is the people rights, and freedom of the journalism, and I will talk now about the people rights. So they were talking like, oh, US violated the law, but we, as we said, Julian Assange violated the law too. And it can make the motivation, it can lead to the motivation to another people to violate the law. And if they will violate the law, it can in the further they can see like, oh, Julian Assange violated the law, and he has and now he is not punished. So I can do the same because I think in my moral values it's good. So and in the future we will see that the risk to violate the people's rights will be increased, and the risk to violate their law will be more. Like the violation of rights now and violation of rights then, it's different things. And if we will end the persecution, it will be another level of the violation of the people's rights. So this point goes to our side. Point about the freedom of speech. They were talking like, well, not freedom of speech, but freedom of the journalism. Like they said, oh, the violation of freedom of journalism. But I want to remind, in their third speech, they said like, okay, he violated the law, he needs to be in jail, but not so big. We had the law 1917 about the espionage and etc. So he has to be in jail. I don't understand. And the freedom of speech, as we said, is already now we have. It is their risk. They understand that if they goes to explore information with the tool of hacking some government, they will be in jail because it is we have the law. And I don't understand why we have now violation of freedom of journalism. We still have the freedom of journalism in the same level. I don't understand it. So this point goes to that. Now one more point about the consequences. We have consequences from the Julian Assange work right now and the Julian Assange work if we will persecute. So let's start with the first. Now we have, as we said, consequences like more not consequences that they're not punished, and our opponents agree that U.S. government and some people not punished, and we think that it's not good that they're not punished. But in our motion, we're talking about the Julian Assange, and I want to remind you that we have more risks on the other side if we will end the persecution. If he will still in jail, nothing will be changed. And we have the otherwise consequences that we will have. As I said in my first speech, we will violate further. We will have the chance to evaluate, like to violate the people's rights more. We have new tool to manipulate people through the WikiLeaks. We have Julian Assange that doesn't like, as I said, we have the experience like 2016 his interview that he doesn't. Like you say, he will work against it. He will fabricate. We have no understanding. Like it's a so big tool of manipulation and the power in one hand that it brings the risk to decrease the stability of society. That is our value: stability of society and the institute of law. And if we won't save the institute of law during the way of the ending Julian Assange persecution, we'll have these consequences. But otherwise, if we won't end the persecution, we won't have these risks. And as a consequences, the consequences of my speech, I want to say that end of the persecution, that in this game, our position, we proved that our value is more important than values of our opponents in flashpoints. We proved that if we will end the persecution of Julian Assange, will bring us more bad consequences, bad influence on actors, society, and etc. And that's why we think that we shouldn't end the persecution of Julian Assange. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your speech, and now we're proceeding for the last speech of this tournament, and we're welcoming the last reply speaker from Proposition 2.
Three, two, one. Hello, it is yet again me, and this is the reply speech of the proposition team. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you present here during this game. We had tons of fun. We truly, really enjoyed it, and hope you also enjoyed it. One of the best games we've ever had. Right, so I'm going to be comparing our two worlds. So in our opponent's world, the only thing that they valued, what they were going through the whole game, is just basically forget about it, yeah, sweep it under the carpet, and that all this justice, all the true justice, yeah, should not be brought to light, yeah. And during their game, they did not, during their speeches, they did not even mention international law, which is also plays a huge part in Julian's case. And in their world, Julian surrendered. Julian is not a fighter for justice. He surrendered to kind of the wrongdoings of all these war crimes, and one sec. And in their world, you have the, like our third speaker mentioned, the casus belli is successfully brainwashing society in their world. Yeah, it's like we said previously, all the wrongdoings of the U.S. government, and not only the U.S. government, just wrongdoings in general, are being swept under carpet in their world, because Julian is being prosecuted. It's showing to the rest of the people who are able to share the leak the wrongdoings of government, is showing them, yeah, that they are running the risk of being locked up for their life, just to trying to bring justice for the people, for trying to stand on the side of the people, yeah, go with the people, and just overall in the world, yeah, the whole values is about the freedom of USA. Yeah, sure, the USA is the country of freedom, but that is not what it means. It means that they are the freedom of society, not the country itself. Yeah, the freedom of justice, the freedom of speech, the freedom of like not being corrupt. And compared to our world, where we promote freedom of speech, Julian is released, and people are inspired, want to share the wrongdoings, want to bring justice, want to bring this democracy to our world. And we advocate in our world for the freedom of speech, the freedom of human rights, which were brought into our world, like I already said, 250 years ago. And sadly, we're slowly being compressed and forgot about, yeah? It's basically thrown in the bin. But in our world, that can be changed. And in our world, because we're bringing justice back, and just democracy in general, yeah, we're having problems that are being solved compared to our opponent's world, where they're just being forgotten, and they can be repeatedly being made, all these problems and all these crimes, and no one is talking about them in their world. And thank you very much for this game.
Thank you very much for this game. It was really cool and interesting. And now we'll proceed to voting.